We are here at the Atlantis Steakhouse for the Domaine Serene wine dinner.
That's right. So and we're just going to go through the wines. We will be having dinner later on. Andy's going to remark on some of the things that they're going to be pairing up these wines with later. But this is one of the oldest Pinot wineries in all of Washington.
Wow. So this is a Washington winery.
And probably one of the most awarded, highly respected Pinots on the planet.
Nice.
And we're going to be tasting here from right to left. Could
left
be
to right
your
for
left
you.
to right. Whatever.
Left to right for you.
This first one, and when they mentioned this to me to begin with, they said a white Pinot, and I said, well, now that's kind of weird. That's almost like white licorice.
Absolutely. Well, and so the sommelier here at the Atlantis said, if you're going to buy one bottle tonight,
Christian,
this is the bottle.
This is the bottle. This is called the Domaine Serene Coeur Blanc, or the White Heart.
You're trying to sound off. It's Domaine Serene.
You know, if I was from France, it would probably be Domaine.
Or Domaine.
Yeah, here in America we call it Domaine. They were the first winery to make a true white Pinot. And just on the nose on that,
wow,
I immediately get that almost a bright, tart, acidic nose. That's what my palate is telling me right now.
Yeah, there's a level of acidity to this. Tonight we're having this, by the way, with a truffled deviled egg crostade with American hackleback caviar and microgreens. You probably get to see some of that a little later. We're gonna film some of the dinner portion of the evening as well. So
maybe Brian will throw in some pictures during the dinner. Are you a caviar fan at all? I don't know if we've ever had caviar at your place.
You know we haven't, because it's kind of fancy, but.
So this is aged like a Chardonnay. It's oak aged. It's not stainless steel, which surprises me, because to me, it's a little on the tart side for what my palate can typically handle.
Well, but that oak comes through without a doubt. Kind of pear or perry.
I can get some of the pears on that.
Yeah, I got a little pear. Could be that I racked our pear cider last night.
Could be that.
And I tasted that and it's still in my palate? Probably not.
Yeah. Pear, maybe a little bit of that sour green apple, like that tart green apple.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely a tartness to that wine. I wish I would have brought my water over.
Now, for whatever reason, rosés, which I've always thought to be rat piss, have come into vogue. It's definitely a nice summer drinking wine. I've never been a huge rosé fan. I think the reason is I was traumatized as a child because I had a singer who thought he was David Lee Roth. He was just about the biggest diva you could possibly imagine for a 45-year-old Mexican dude. He was a diva, and so he insisted when the rest of us were swigging Jack Daniels or Jose Cuervo shots and Corona, he always insisted on drinking his White Zinfandel on the rocks.
White Zin. There is that Zinfandel again. White Zin, right?
White Zin on the rocks.
White Zin.
Rosé reminds me of White Zin.
Well, that's typical pink wine, right? And it was super sugary sweet, and it wasn't awesome. So
this is called the R Rosé from Domaine Serene. Now, Serene was the daughter's name of the winery's owner. Her name was Serene, so therefore the name of the winery, Domaine Serene. No,
maybe it's Chardonnay. If it's Domaine, why isn't it Chardonnay?
Hey.
Right? I mean, come on. All right, so, not as tart. The acid structure isn't as big. It's a little creamier.
Not what I was expecting. You say creamy, and I completely agree. Yeah. This one's got a much more rounded mouthfeel. You know, if I could give it a kind of a descriptor, that rounded mouthfeel there. Cherries, a little bit of raspberries. Some of the darker fruits, but not the intense flavored dark fruits. Yeah, see,
I'm not that good.
I get a little hint of sage in there.
By the way, before you move on to that, because I didn't talk about the food, we are having the rosé with a pepita-crusted Cypress Grove goat cheese medallion, wintergreens, pumpkin seed oil, cranberry kumquat relish, and I'm going to say this is over pheasant galantine. So apparently the first course is pheasant galantine, the truffle deviled egg, obviously.
Now, is that a certain type of pheasant?
I have no idea. I think it's pheasant.
Or
but
just
it's
the way the pheasant is
It's the way it's prepared, right?
Okay.
It's going to be pepita crusted with goat cheese, wintergreens, pumpkin seed oil.
I got to ask you, have you ever climbed a kumquat tree?
Never.
Really? We had kumquat trees all over the place in San Antonio.
Really?
Little Japanese plums.
Kumquats.
Yeah, and we used to eat them all the time, and then we'd let them get ripe, and we'd throw them at each other.
Let's talk about this third wine.
This is a Chardonnay. This is the Domaine Serene Evenstad Reserve Chard.
There's that big buttery oak. Very big buttery oak.
Well, I can smell that. I can smell the oak on this. Now, I smell the oak on this one more than I could smell the oak on the first one.
Well, it's good that it's a big buttery oaky Chard because we're having it with a butter poached Maine lobster with brandied cream sauce, puff pastry, and fennel fronds, whatever those are.
That sounds horrible.
This dinner's going to suck. I'm not going to like it at all.
Sucks to be you. By the way, if you're ever looking for a vacation or a getaway, check out the Atlantis.com. I think it's the Atlantis.com. Is there a website on here?
Google Atlantis.
Gosh, dang.
Atlantis Reno.
Brian, hook a brother up.
Atlantis Reno. The website will be here somewhere.
Yeah.
But what a great resort casino environment.
And
great
they do
restaurants.
these types of things all the time. There's, a few of the resort casinos do different wine dinners, but they do it consistently here and consistently very, very well. With wineries that you may be familiar with, the biggies, I've done Joseph Phelps over here, I've done Silver Oak over here. And some of these like there that are off the grid, when I first saw this and we got the invite to it, I went, oh, I'm not sure that I'm familiar with what Domaine Serene is. So
I'm not familiar with Washington wine too much at all. Just typically have stayed away from it, and maybe it's time to go to Washington and do a wine tour.
That'd be great.
And
apricot.
Record some of that.
Apricot or apricot? What do you say?
For this wine, I think I would say apricot.
Okay. This is the Domaine Serene Evenstad Reserve Pinot Noir, and I believe these reserves. I didn't notice a price on the website, but I believe in doing a little bit of research coming out here that in the $60 to $90 a bottle range.
So decent wine.
Yeah.
Nice
well,
wine.
I mean, decent. high price. High price doesn't always equate to great wine. You know, sometimes. And of course, wine is all objective. So now they say coffee. They say smoke, black fruits, and a touch of charred wood. Are you getting any of that on the nose of this? Because I'm really not.
I get some smoke in there, but it could be because I just took a sip too, right?
Okay.
So
my
I'm
sniffer
smelling
might be
it.
off.
But that smoke definitely rolls through.
I do not like an overly smoked wine. Now,
no, not too much, but
first thing I get off of this is tannins.
Yeah.
This is the first wine out of the 4 we've tasted so far here where the tannins just, boom, they come up and hit you right up front.
Yeah, it's big. It finishes not too quickly, but there's a
fairly
decent,
quickly. Yeah.
There's a decent finish to it, but it's not going to linger for a long time. Kind of not like that the rosé we had, which actually took a long finish. But this I think is going to pair well with wine braised wild boar.
So I love pig.
Oh, without a doubt, and especially wild boar,
pork,
right?
Yeah.
Wild boar. So and that's going to be with Venetian grilled pumpkin, creamy hominy pudding. Hominy pudding, okay. Applewood smoked bacon. You had me at bacon. And a sorghum glaze, whatever sorghum is.
Do you like hominy? Hominy is kind of like elote, right? It's like a corn
It's a big
meal.
fat corn that you make pozole out of.
Okay, yeah.
Hominy,
elote, I think exactly the same thing. I think maybe the technical name for elote is corn, right? ¿Cómo se dice corn en español?
Elote.
Elote, okay, yeah.
There you go. I don't speak Spanish. I just made that shit up.
Shut it. All right, finally we wrap things up with the Jerusalem Hills Pinot Noir, their flagship Pinot. This is one they've won all the awards on, so I'm preparing myself to be out.
Jave, I'm going to go back. I'm going to go back to this wine here because it's still there, and it's kind of interesting because there's a residual kind of flavor to that wine. It's brilliant. It's big and it's beautiful. And for a Pinot, I mean, Pinot is typically a, kind of a little lighter bodied wine. And here they are specializing in something like that.
Yeah, and definitely, the color on this, more of a lighter raspberry color than
it's
dark.
It's not a big, bold cab, right?
This one, medium
delicate.
to full bodied, pretty dense, dark cherries, ripe tannins.
So it's not as tannic. That cherry flavor really comes through. Just so you know, we're eating this with wood-fired beef. tenderloin medallion with potatoes, of course, and a wild mushroom ragu, caramelized pearl onions. So I think that'll be it should be a decent dish, I think. You know.
So you like the fact I dressed up today?
You did dress up.
I didn't
I'm so glad
my,
you didn't wear that nasty, ugly shirt.
Hawaiian shirts?
No. We'd have gotten thrown out.
Yeah, probably so.
Or you would have, because I'd have worn this shirt, and I'd have still been here having fun at the party. All in all, so far, I mean, you know, we do our fair share of wine drinking, and this is all real quality stuff. And you know, you wouldn't imagine Christian to bring anything but top quality in for a dinner like this. But it's nice to taste that variety in a different region, a different terroir, a different flavor profile, and definitely nice to see somebody, a winery that specializes in Pinot. But here, definitely, my takeaway from this whole kind of flight of wine, and I'll be looking forward to drinking larger glasses here coming up with dinner. But very well done and specialized and really focused.
And I'm not sure if this is indicative of Pinot Noir as a grape, because frankly, I'm a Pinot novice, but I am a cab approaching expert level. You know, I know a good cab, right? We know a good cab when we taste it. The cabs tend to really evoke more of that bigger tannins, a little more of a woody, big floral bouquet on the nose. Everything that I've tasted so far, the one trait that almost runs through all of these is a citrus trait, almost like a grapefruit, and you can taste it a bit on the finish there. There's a brightness, there's almost a certain bitterness to it, a certain, like I say, grapefruitishness to just about every one of the wines here, and I'm not sure if that's indicative to a Pinot Noir or not. Maybe Brian can find some logic on that, but that's just what I'm
Christian
thinking.
can enlighten us.
Or Christian could enlighten us later on.
So what we've got here is the pheasant galantine, and we're having this with the rosé, and kind of like the first wine we drank. It's a little cold, but we discussed it and described it earlier in our review. So I'm going to taste that to bring out, again, the creaminess from the rosé. Mixes really well with the goat cheese. So I got a goat cheese here with a little bit of a pomegranate or a little berry here. And that acidity from that berry is, from the goat cheese is fantastic. The acidity from the wine. So I'm going to taste that. Greens with everything so far. And then pheasant. Now I can't recall the last time I had pheasant. But it's beautiful. I had a piece already, and this it's got a green in there
with pomegranate on top.
Pomegranate on top.
Where I've lived and traveled my whole life.
It's tender. It looks like a pheasant breast that's been rolled with some spinach or another green. Obviously, the Atlantis has rocked this, and I suggest if you have a chance, come on down. Not tonight because it's way too late. But come on down and try the food here at the Atlantis Steakhouse.